about the matchup that you thought Reggie, be a good game for Reggie, and
Yeah.
you talked about,
Yeah, nothing with the matchup. It's tough. Reggie personifies Cougar basketball. That's what he is. Reggie started on a team that went to the Final Four in 28 games. Major contributor on the team that won 32. Now he's in his third year. I knew exactly what I'm going to get from him. Jerrison, his second or third year, I would be the same with him. But Jerrison freshman. St. Mary's is such a good defensive team. Johnson, he's as good a defensive point guard as we've played in the 8 years I've been here. He can really, really guard. Now Jamal goes 2 for 12. We have a lot of shots Jamal usually makes, but Johnson at the point of attack was different than anybody we've played against. So when you get two really good defensive teams playing against each other, that's what it looks like. That's why Villanova and Houston looked like that last year. It had nothing to do with each team's offense. You play against a team that doesn't guard well, we'll look better offensively. But they made us struggle. And we missed some shots we'd like to have back, but I'm sure Randy could say the same thing. But we're a really good defensive team, and they're a really good defensive team. And I kind of thought the game would look like that going in. I thought we could guard them. I thought that they struggled against us defensively, and I knew this wasn't going to be no 75-point game. You don't score 75 points against us. You don't score 75 against them. They guard you good, and their size. I mean, they're big and strong. So having Reggie sitting over there, that's the first Reggie's attitude. There's, when it's a pretty game, Reggie doesn't always get to play a lot. Those other guys can play in a pretty game. Now everybody can play in a mud bath, blood bath, a mud hole game. But Reggie's pretty good playing in mud hole games.
The lift that J1 gave you in the second half, there was one sequence where he was really active. I mean, he had like 3 or 4 trips down the floor he scored, but just having that matchup there, or his presence there on the lift he gave you.
Yeah, these two guys sat on the bench last year behind Josh Carlton and Fabian White, 2 first-team all-conference guys. So they played against really good players, and now it's their turn. Reggie could easily start, but I don't think anybody on our team worries about that, especially the coach. Reggie's toughness, J1's toughness. When teams don't double us, we like to play a little more inside. Now, Robert's got a lot of good looks tonight. We had a couple of looks there that could have popped it open, and we missed them tonight. Next game, maybe they go in. But on nights when the ball doesn't go in, you've got to have ways that you can find ways to win it. We didn't rebound it as well as I'd like tonight. That's going to happen with this team. This is not a great rebounding team. I've had some great rebounding teams over the years. This team is not. We'll continue to work at it. Hopefully we get better at it. But it's not a great rebounding team. But this is a great defensive team.
What happened with Marcus?
Something like his shoulder kind of popped out and then went back in.
Getting from a medical standpoint, is that nowhere? But in terms of concern, is it?
No, he'll be fine.
Go ahead. J1, how aware are you guys of the history of Iceland and Jam and things of that sort, with being ranked #1 for the first time since then? Not very.
Nah. But I've heard about the history, how good they were back then. And for us to be #1 again, I feel like it's a big accomplishment. And just ride the wave, keep improving as a team, keep learning every day, and just keep getting better. And hopefully keep that #1 spot for a long time.
Juwan, how comfortable do you feel out there on the court right now? And what's your mindset heading into this game specifically? What you're heading into this game?
Just playing with a lot of confidence. Going into the game knowing that my teammates trust me. Believe me that I'll, make the right plays. And the game is starting to slow down a lot for me now. Playing with a lot more confidence, like I said. And just letting the game come to me. Last year I actually won the game. I was second on glass. Just a little nervous a little bit. But I know my role has changed. And I know what I have to bring for this team to be a good team.
Legal back to Chris Gardner and after you, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
Reggie, what are your thoughts on what Coach said about you being a guy who can really shine in a mud bath kind of game?
No, yeah, those are the games I look forward to because I feel like, I just want to help the team. That's all I care about. Like you said, I don't care about starting it. I just want to help the team where I feel like we need help. So, like, games like that, I just come in and try to do as best as I can on my tough.
Chris, well, go ahead.
Reggie, what you see in that last block, and what does that mean to make that kind of play in that situation?
I just want to win. So, like, that's that play right there. Like, I just gotta go make that block. I made mistakes, I gotta make up for it. Playing hard always make up for mistakes.
Kelvin, the first week developed with the number one rankings, first one you had as a coach. Are you enjoying this? You like how
That doesn't really matter to me. I mean that honestly. I lost 4 starters from last year's team. So for me, we're replacing 5th-year guys. Tajay Moore was a 6-year guy. We were ultra veteran last year. JVA Francis is 19 years old. Terrence Arso is 19 years old. Jarris is 20. And we're playing basically 3 freshmen in place of those veteran guys. So, I'm kind of in the mindset of figuring out how to help this team get better. I literally, don't say you don't think about it. Of course I do. That would be so silly to say you don't, but I don't dwell on it. We're 8-0, but let's face it, the reason we're number 1 is not because we're the best team. It's because we were ranked ready higher than anybody else, and teams that if Virginia had been rated ahead of us in the preseason, they'd be number 1. But we were ahead of them, so we're number 1. But nobody owns this thing. North Carolina had it for a while. They lost, so they're going. We'll have it till we lose, and we'll lose. Nobody goes undefeated. So we're not running around here pushing our chest out thinking we're something we're not. We need to get better, we need to get our guards better rebounding. I gotta get Jarris Walker a little more mud in his blood. I'm more focused on those things than that. That and I say 50 cents, but that and 250 now will get you a cup of coffee.
We'll go back to Joseph and then Andy.
J1, everybody knows identity with they start with defense. There was a sequence late in the first half where they went down, I think 4 trips. Y'all held them to 1 shot. It was, getting the defensive rebound. How much when maybe it's going to be one of these, mud bath type games where you can rely, you have your defense to go to, and it's not about offense all the time. It doesn't have to be.
That's what we live on. Like we know that we're not a first shot team, so we rely on our defense, and that just shows that we're connected. It shows how good defensive we can be. Because if one person is not locked in, then something's gonna go wrong. So even if we do, mess up on something, just the energy, and the effort, to get out a lot of stuff, scramble, and just make up for the mistakes that we have. So knowing that we was locked in that stretch, it really shows how good defensively we can be.
I've got 2 more here, Andy and then one Chris. Andy and Chris.
Reggie, can you just talk about what you've seen from the progression of Joan Roberts over the years that he's been here for you?
Honestly, I always think that he was always a scorer. He always had that. It's just like you said earlier, I just feel like he was a little nervous when I first came, but now he's a lot more comfortable. There's something he could always do. He just has to just do it.
Good, great melody.
Calvin, what have you seen the difference in Juwan and his improvement from end of last year to this year?
Just this term, no different than Thaken's sophomore year when he was behind Kevin Davis. Everybody wasted a turn in our program. I think it says a lot about our kids' character and also our kids' families. But we've been here going on 9 years, and probably the most amazing statistic about us, not, if you take out the COVID year, I think we're averaging around 30 wins a year, which is amazing in itself. But in 8 years, in our top 10 players, we've had one kid transfer in 8 years. Think about that. One kid. They all wait their turn. That's why, Emmanuel didn't get to play tonight. Ramon's sick, he didn't get to play. JBA didn't get to play much. It's not their turn yet. It'll be their turn. But because they're high character kids, and they have the kids in front of them, like, nobody is as good a role model for JBA as Reggie and Jamie. But they were in his seat. They sat behind good players. Reggie started his first year, not right away. Not that he beat Bryson out, but Reggie, we were playing better when Reggie was on the floor. But Jalen had 14 rebounds. We beat Boise State. I don't remember the score, but Jalen had, I think it was 20 something maybe, but Jalen had 14 rebounds in that game as a freshman. But he was behind Justin Gorham. And then Fabian had an ACL injury, and he came back, I think, in February. And so now he's behind Justin. And what does most kids do today? They transfer. What do our kids do? That's attitude and effort, man. Our kids have great attitudes, and I can't tell you how proud I am of them. And that's why for me it's an honor to coach them. We're not going to look great every night. We're not the sexiest team. I don't really care about the ranking anymore. I don't care about that. I mean, I told him I kind of did, but in reality I don't. That's just being honest. I think our fans and other people do more than we do. It's just hard to win a game. Look at all look at all the ranked teams that's lost in the last 3 days. It shows you how hard it is. It's hard. We'll get home. If you guys will quit asking me questions, we're gonna get home about 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. Tomorrow's Sunday. Monday's the day. We got a game Tuesday night, and then we'll get a day off. Then we got another game Saturday, another game Tuesday, another game Saturday. For us, it's but we played 8 now. We got 13 non-conference games. We got 5 more. So we'll go watch the film and figure out how we can get better. We're not going to sit around and discuss what our ranking is. I can promise you that.